Live and in living color from the Gilvan Broadcast Center right here on the Washington Street campus of Amarillo College, it's Jackson Street Presents. We're lucky to have the great Mr. Ray Wilson in studio with us. Appreciate you coming out, Ray.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Ray's new album is called The Troubadour. He's here to do some great music. Jackson Street Presents Ray Wilson, an Underdog.
They say they love him, the underdog. No one truly likes him at all, the underdog. When he's suffering, fighting, losing, crying, they all turn away, leave him to his dying. When he comes out on top, the whole world cheers, underdog. When he's down for the count, no love will cohere, underdog. He's the same as he was on his winning streak, underdog. The claim they had his back, then turn and call him weak, underdog. When he's suffering, fighting, losing, crying, they all turn away, leave him to his dying. Underdog, the underdog, ah, underdog, the underdog, ah,
Mr. Ray Wilson here on Jackson Street Presents. Thank you, Ray, for coming and hanging out with us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how you got started in doing this, playing your music here.
Well, you know, I've always wanted to play music, and about 2009, I decided I needed to try again and get my band together and that sort of thing, and I've just been working hard at it since then.
And my understanding is you started out in bands playing bass, correct?
That's right. I'm actually a much better bass player than
I find that hard to believe. You're a great guitarist.
Oh, thank you.
Now, what are some of your influences musically?
The list is pretty long, you know. I mean, I grew up listening to everything from jazz, I mean, New Orleans jazz, stuff like, Gosh, I can't even think right now.
Miles, and we go back and forth on Facebook.
Yeah,
we
we've talked
admire
about it a
each other's
couple of
jazz
times, yeah.
taste. Thelonious Monk,
I
some
love Thelonious Monk,
Coltrane,
yeah.
of course Miles Davis.
Yeah.
But I can see how all that plays into your music as an instrumentalist, as a vocalist, as a singer-songwriter. I can see how you take other aspects of other sounds of music and incorporate into your own. It's beautiful work.
Well, thank you.
One thing I want to ask you, me not being a artist myself, what do you do? How do you take the steps to write a song? What inspires you to write a song?
That's great. Well, you have to bleed a little and cry a little.
It's another baby.
Yeah, well, and you know, some songs just come rushing at me, and they come at me so fast I have to literally pull my car over somewhere safe and maybe type it out on my phone or whatever. But some songs I wrestle with over long periods of time,
Yeah.
and I have to put them away and go do something else, and then something will kind of click, and I'll go back and revisit them. And even a few of my songs I've co-written with someone because they just added a dimension that I was missing in the process.
Wow.
So it's everything. I mean, anything that you could possibly imagine. The blood and tears, though, that's really the main.
That's it. That's interesting. I've always wondered that process, lyrics first, music first, that sort of thing. It's good to know that it just doesn't come as a wisp of inspiration and you got it all down.
That would be awesome. If that's
Yeah,
how
it'd
it
make your
happened.
job a whole lot easier.
It would. And, you know, I try to let the song do what I think it was intended to do, and that might sound weird, but instead of trying to take something and conform it to maybe what the grander audience, make it more consumable.
Right.
I just try to let the song do its thing, and then I figure I'll find the right audience.
And there you go. That's a good way to look at it. How about another one for us?
Okay, let's do it.
You got a brand new one that's coming out right now. Brand new song, first time ever, right here on Jackson Street Presents. It's Mr. Ray Wilson with Let Your Soul Be Your Guide. Thank you, sir.
All these times you've been searching lead you further down the road, and your mind's been turning, wondering why you must go. Your heart's been wondering if you'll ever be the same. And at night you've been pondering if all that's left is shame. When you're past on a shelf, you must search for yourself and find a place that is right, and pray while alone you remember where's home. It's always been inside. You always will take flight. Let your soul be your guide. Leaving is so bittersweet, but you know you've got to go. How else will you ever be complete? You never get to know the joy and pain of leaving will fill you up with doubt. But you gotta stop your breathing and figure this thing out. When you pass on a shelf, you must search for yourself and find a place that is right, and pray while alone you remember where's home. It's always been inside. You always will take flight. Let your soul be your guide.
Mr. Ray Wilson here on Jackson Street Presents. Appreciate you
Oh, I
coming out,
appreciate you
man.
so
Always
much.
such great
Thank
music.
you.
That's new one. Is that one on your Troubadour EP?
It is not, so
It
that's
is
brand
not.
new.
So that is something exclusively right here for Jackson Street
It's never been
Presents.
recorded anywhere else.
We
so,
appreciate that,
of course,
man.
yeah, thank you.
Where can they get a hold of you? Where can they find your music at?
You know, the best place to find me is just raywilsonmusic.com, and it's got all the links to all the Facebook and Twitter and Instagram accounts and downloads for the album or individual songs. You know, you start at raywilsonmusic.com, and I can't get away from you that though.
There you go. And you can catch Ray. He's also on a lot of FM 90 platforms. He's on TextTunes. He's right now in heavy rotation on regular FM 90 Play. And you can catch Jackson Street Presents across all of Amarillo College's media platforms, AC Ranger, Panhandle PBS, and on FM 90. Join us again next time on Jackson Street Presents. Got one more song in it?
I'll do one more.
We got one more from Mr. Ray Wilson right here on Jackson Street Presents. Ray Wilson.
Thank you. Right near the bayou and Interstate 10, he's got a feeling coming over him again. In a 65 Chrysler, it came in through the air. That rock and roll music gonna take him anywhere. For many a year, where he was on the run, running from his demons, but his dreams didn't darken. And after being beat down, he finally stood his ground. Fist wood, stone, or stick could stop his music. Any place for you and flies just a little bit. And he sings for you and cries just a little bit, but just a little bit. Well, now there's 45 years of life on his face. He's learned to love, he's ran one hell of a race. And times come around, my child, get batting in between. Onward lives that rebel in these faded old jeans. And he